Thank you very much, Right Honourable Lord Provost and SNP Honorary Co-President. Your Excellency, President Lazarus, Chakwera and Honorary Co-Patron of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership. First Lady, Minister of Foreign Affairs and PS of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Natural Resources and Minister of Education, Secretary to the President Cabinet and Chief Executive Officer, Cabinet Secretary Angus Robertson and Minister Jenny Gilruth, and members of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership. Welcome, all protocols observed. It's been a very odd last 20 months or so, President. We as a community have been meeting digitally rather than in person. And so today is special, not just because Your Excellency is with us, because it's the first, but also because it's the first opportunity we've had to meet in person. As the Lord Provost has said, this afternoon is all about specifically celebrating the climate links between Scotland and Malawi at this crucial time of COP26. Your Excellency, when you addressed our AGM, giving up a Saturday afternoon a few weeks ago, you very kindly said that if COP was happening in any other conference, it would be merely a conference. But because it's happening in Scotland, it is a homecoming. And that is our theme for this afternoon. We want to ensure that it is really a homecoming, and I hope the warm greeting you got as you entered this room, Your Excellency, gave some sense of the enthusiasm in Scotland and the warmth with which you are made welcome. But it's not enough for Malawi to feel welcome in Scotland. Malawi must be heard in Scotland, and Malawi must be heard at COP26, not just for the 19 million Malawians whose future rely on it, but also given that Malawi is currently the head of the LDC, the UN Least Developed Countries Group, and SADC, that Malawi at the moment is representing much of the Global South and many of the poorest countries in the world. And so for those reasons, we've been redoubling our efforts, Your Excellency, to support those in Scotland who have links with Malawi. And Your Excellency, exactly 24 hours ago, we were sitting having a coffee and scone in the David Livingstone Centre in Blantyre. And I asked you, what is your top message that you want the people of Scotland and the world to hear with regards to COP? And you spoke about the 100 billion being re-announced and still not yet met. In the last 24 hours with Lord Jack McConnell, we've had a 10-minute feature on ITV News specifically raising that issue in the context of the Scotland-Malawi relationship. And indeed, Scottish MPs have stood up in the House of Commons in the last 24 hours and quizzed the Prime Minister on that specific issue. Please be in no doubt, Your Excellency, that when Malawi talks, Scotland listens. And of course, so many world leaders in Glasgow and so many important high-level conversations. But what I want us to remember today is there is something that all of us can and must do to fight the climate emergency together. I hope, Your Excellency, you are pleased to see how Scotland has stepped up to the challenge that you gave us 12 months ago to use COP26 to redouble our efforts in the area of climate cooperation, to inspire a future generation of youth climate activists in Malawi and Scotland. We have 1,200 members of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership, about 10% perhaps here today. Sadly, no room's big enough for the whole membership. But you will have the opportunity, Your Excellency, to meet 26 representatives of just some of these climate cooperation partnerships that are there in the room. In closing, I'm keen to extend my thanks, of course, to members of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership and to our partners in Malawi, who we'll be hearing from, technology allowing in a moment. I want, of course, to thank the Lord Provost and the City of Edinburgh. Without generous use of buildings such as this, meetings would not be possible. Your Excellency, I would like to thank yourself and your government. You have accepted the patronage of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership with enthusiasm and with gusto, and we greatly appreciate your time, your energy and your commitment to those civic links. And of course, I'm very keen to thank the Scottish Government. Without their funding and their commitment to long-term funding, none of what we see today in the bilateral relationship would be possible. So it's my immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Angus Robertson, MSP, the Cabinet Secretary for Constitution, External Affairs and Culture.